Good evening, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. And Wednesday means it's cozy time. It's cozy story time where we get to spend some time together, all snuggled up, and read some stories or read a book. Today, well, I promised you a Christmas story, but you know what? I'm going to read you a Christmas poem, a couple of poems actually. So instead of just one book, I'm going to read you a few different poems. Now, poems come in many different styles. They can be really, really short, really, really long. Um, some can be hard to understand. Some can be very, very simple. And so there are a few different styles that I have in here. And I've got a couple of funny ones that I thought that you might like to listen to. So the first one I have is Christmas themed. So we're still on the right track here. And it's called The Remarkable Cake. And it's about a family making a Christmas cake. Now, did you know that in England, I'm not quite sure about here because we say that my house here is a English household because, well, I'm English, obviously, but and I try to pass down traditions to my family. But in England, a month or so before Christmas, families get together and they make a special Christmas cake. Now, it seems like quite a while before Christmas, but you actually have to look after that cake. You have to make sure you pour a certain liquid on it every week so that the cake stays moist, and you've got to wrap it all up and then put it back in its place. And then at Christmas, you know what you do at Christmas before you eat the cake at Christmas dinner? You light the cake. You can light the cake on fire. There's a certain edible liquid that you can pour onto the cake, and if you light it, it lights on fire, and it makes quite the show for Christmas. So we made our Christmas cake. I'm not quite sure what it's going to taste like, but we will see. And this poem is about a family that's got together to make their Christmas cake. I encourage you to look that up, boys and girls, and see if it's a tradition that you could start in your family, if it's something you're not already doing. All right, so I am reading from the Treasury of Children's Poetry, The Remarkable Cake. It's Christmas, the time when we gather to make a truly remarkable once-a-year cake. The recipe's written in letters of gold by a family witch who's terribly old. The rule of this cake is it has to be made in a wheelbarrow, stirred with a shovel or spade. At Christmas, the season of love and goodwill. Other times of the year, it might make you feel ill. You must nail it together or stick it with glue. Then hammer it flat with the heel of your shoe. You must stretch it out thin. You must tie it in knots. Then get out your paint box and paint it with spots. What a taste! What a flavour! It's certain to please. It's rather like ice cream with pickles and cheese. In June, it would taste like spaghetti and mud, while its taste in September would curdle your blood. Oh, what a cake! It's simply delicious. Now get out the carving knife, get out your dishes. Be careful, be careful. This cake might explode and blow up the kitchen and part of the road. Oh dear, it's exploded. I thought that it might. It's not very often we get it just right. Let's comfort the baby, revive Uncle Dan, and we'll start it all over as soon as we can. For Christmas, that day, comes and it goes, far sooner than ever we dare to suppose. Once more in December, will gather to make that truly remarkable once a year cake. Isn't that silly? Cakes exploding. I'm very glad that mine didn't explode. And I don't tend to hammer it flat with the heel of my shoe or paint it with spots. So I wouldn't encourage that. I would encourage you to follow a recipe. Now, what else have I got for you in my book of poetry? I've got a Saint Nicholas one. Yeah, we'll end with a funny cat poem I have for you. But we'll read another Christmas one because I did promise you Christmas stories. So this one is called A Visit from Saint Nicholas. Now, some people call Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, or Saint Nick. There's different words and expressions for Santa Claus. In England, we call him Father Christmas. In France, they call him Père Noël. And as I said, different names in different places. But this poem is called A Visit from Saint Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that Saint Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. Oh, come! Oh, Comet, oh, Cupid, oh, Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the house the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and Saint Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney Saint Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, he sprang to his sleigh to give to his team, gave a whistle, and away they flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and all a good night." Isn't that a nice poem? That describes Father Christmas rather well. Okay, now I promised you a funny poem. Now this one is called The Dad and the Tree. And you can see that something went a little bit wrong in this poem. So let's go ahead and see what happened. Well, it's called The Dad and the Cat and the Tree. This is a silly poem. This morning, a cat got stuck in our tree. Dad said, "Right, just leave it to me." The tree was wobbly. The tree was tall. Mum said, "For goodness sake, don't fall." "Fall?" scoffed Dad. "A climber like me? Child's play this is. You wait and see." He got out the ladder from the garden shed. It slipped. He landed in the flower bed. "Never mind," said Dad, brushing the dirt off his hair and his face and his trousers and his shirt. "We'll try plan B. Stand out of the way." Mum said, "Don't fall again, okay?" "Fall again," said Dad. "Funny joke." Then he swung himself up on a branch. It broke. Dad landed, wallop, back on the deck. Mum said, "Stop it, you'll break your neck." "Rubbish," said Dad. "Now we'll try plan C. Easy as winking to a climber like me." Then he climbed up high on the garden wall. Guess what? He didn't fall. He gave a great leap and he landed flat in the crook of the tree trunk, right on the cat. The cat gave a yell as it sprang to the ground, pleased as Punch to be safe and sound. So it's smiling and smirking, smug as can be. But poor old Dad's still stuck up the tree. Isn't that silly? I thought you'd enjoy that one. Silly old Dad ended up getting the cat out of the tree and getting himself stuck in the tree. That's a bit silly. All right, we'll read a couple more before I'll leave you for the evening. And I thought I would read you, even though it's not snowing outside, it's cold outside today. Not cold enough to snow just yet, but I just spoke with somebody. I just had a reading group before I came on to join all of you. And one of the people she was in Kentucky and they have snow. They got 2 inches of snow today. So I thought, you know what, it's cold outside. I'll read you a couple of winter poems. So this one is called Winter Morning. Winter is the king of showmen. turning tree stumps into snowmen, and houses into birthday cakes, and spreading sugar over lakes. Smooth and clean and frosty white, the world looks good enough to bite. That's the season to be young, catching snowflakes on your tongue. Snow is snowy when it's snowing. I'm sorry, it's slushy when it's going. Excuse me. I've got a tickle in my throat. Okay, last one. Snow clouds. Oh, goodness me. I've got snowflakes in my throat. I'm tickling. Okay, snow clouds. Like sulky polar bears, clouds prowl across the winter sky from cold and snowy northern lands as though from icy lairs. Soon snow begins to fall, small snippets of the whitest fur, and like the stealthy polar bear, it makes no sound at all. Have you ever tried to listen to snow, boys and girls? Have you ever tried to catch snow? Have you ever stuck your tongue out and tried to catch a snowflake? Snowflakes are beautiful. Some people actually photograph snowflakes, and did you know that each one is different? And if you look closely when it's icy outside or snowy, you can look on your window and see the different snowflakes on your, like, stuck to your window, the icicles and the snowflakes, and it's just so beautiful. So again, with the permission of your parents or guardians, see if you can go online, or there's probably books too that show what snowflakes look like close up and just how beautiful they are. Okay, boys and girls, that concludes our cozy moments. All of you are beautiful, just like snowflakes. Each of you are individual and have so much beauty. Remember that I love you and I am here for you. If you need me at all, always feel free to contact me if you ever have any questions about anything at all. And we will be back tomorrow for our Engage Ministries Advent studies. So we will be in week 2 of our Advent study. So even if you missed week 1, that's totally fine. Each week can stand alone, but if you would like to catch up, feel free to go to the Grace Church YouTube channel and catch up on last week's 2 weeks ago Advent study, or right here on the Engage Ministry Facebook page. You can also catch up on it. So I encourage you to join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. and it's for all ages. So I do hope to see you there. All right, boys and girls, it was fun reading poetry with you this evening. I hope you all enjoyed the rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers and good night.